Good morning. How are you? I'm glad to be back. I am Coach Aisha here at NC Centrals, and I thank you for joining us by way of NCE.company, where we provide resources for businesses like yours so that you can continue operating during these minor and major disruptions that come in any business model. We focus on the talent who have created a business from a vision that you've had, and you've been in business for about 10 years at least, possibly even 2 or 3 decades, and you haven't quite tapped into the power of building a continuity plan, building a plan so that you don't have to keep winging it like you've done all these years. You've been very successful in the skills and the talent that you do. However, maintaining the operations during these disruptions that are outside of your control has been a great challenge. And that's why I'm here to share resources and encourage you and provide you an opportunity to work with me so that we can get you a continuity plan and a disaster recovery plan that's fit for your business and your business size and function. So today I am sharing about your clients. You know your clients very well, and you may not have the wide exposure as many of these major companies, where some of the major things happening in the media is about the brand's reputation. So we see major news about something that a business has done that their customers did not like, did not appreciate, actually were not going for, and maybe even protested and have impacted the profits. I remember back in the day when there was the saying, the customer is always right. I think that is meant for good intentions, but is your customer always right? Because you have customers with various needs and various intentions on how they want to use your services or goods. And so, is the customer always right when you think about how you're running your small business here on a day to day operation and how you can't afford to give every customer everything that they're demanding? We understand that you're offering the supply and then the demand. And then we know this is how you make your money, you make your profits, and you make your living. But I've been studying this book called Driven here. So ever since I've seen this book or heard this book in a talk, it's Driven How Human Nature Shapes Our Choices. I've been thinking about how we want to please our customers. We want to attract our customers, but we want to please them. We want to make sure that they're satisfied. But based on the human nature of, or yes, the human nature of the drive to acquire, to get something, to receive something, this is the main reason why people are buying with you. They want to acquire something, and if we do not satisfy them in a certain way, they will have no more drive or need to come to you to get that satisfaction. They may go elsewhere. So when I talk about is the customer um always right, well, what if you find that your business keeps taking away your customer's voice, which is again what I'm seeing in major businesses. So I won't name the brands right now, but if you've seen where some companies have changed their logos, some companies have changed who they market to, some companies have made policy changes. Some companies have made changes within how they relate to their employees. And so, customers, clients, the people who exchange their money for the goods and services are now saying we have a voice. Our say matters. So then they don't just speak, of course, with their mouths or texting or their posts on social media. They're speaking with their dollars. So you, as a consumer, though you have a business, you also are a consumer. You're speaking with your dollars, and you're speaking with your lack of dollars if you choose not to continue to shop with certain brands because of something that you're dissatisfied with, and you, like your customers, have a drive to acquire, but you also have a drive to defend. You also have a drive to bond. So these things are broken up if and when your supplier, who you're shopping with, who you're getting your goods and services from, make certain changes, and then the dynamic change between you and customer, supply and demand. You no longer want to shop there, or you want things to go back as they were, or you want things to change to improve for employees, to improve for other customers, to improve all all around, and not just benefit or seem to benefit the one offering the services. So we often are thinking as business owners, or talent of our business, but we have to also remember what it's like being a consumer, because we are all consumers. But what is it like to be a consumer of other products and services, and what it feels like when our supplier takes our voice away? What we say don't matter. Just give me your dollars. So if you can put yourself in the shoes of your customers, not ever dehumanizing them, because we all have wants and needs, right? Then it may be, you may actually find yourself with the advantage to better approach your customers, their desire, their drive to acquire, their drive to bond with others who like the same product, like the same service, also their drive to defend. So if you take away someone's voice and they're spending money with you, what then do you give them? The the service, just the good? I think that people are no longer desensitized, and people are no longer shopping in the robotic ways, like by habit, as they were before. I'm gonna keep shopping here. I've always shopped here. I know these people. I trust these people. We think alike. And this is something that can happen in a smaller area, right? But just because one is operating a major company doesn't mean you forget how small communities actually make a big difference, because people do talk, people do share their experience. Okay, so I'm recapping on our talk today, where I shared about customers always being right, or that there was a time that customers were always right. And the point that I'm making is that when we're operating businesses and managing a brand, we have to remember we are taking risk. So whenever we make decisions that impact our customers, the market that we serve, we have to be willing to take the consequences. If we make certain decisions and shifts that then quiets the voice of our customers, then we should also be willing to take the consequences, not issuing an apology letter if that's not the intention. If you're going in a direction and you're sure you're willing to forego the dollars of said customers, then be willing to do that unapologetically, because so many decisions are made unapologetically and very boldly, and it's based on you thinking it's a low risk decision or a low risk move, but it's not, because customers matter, their voices matter, especially if you want to keep those same customers. If you're shifting and getting rid of customers in a way, then that would make it make sense to not value or take into account current customers and their voice. So the risk is very high. Once you have a brand, once it is a brand, your customers or others identify and understand and know the culture. If you make certain shifts, then you will lose certain customers. And that's just a consequence. So just be willing to do that if you know where you're taking your brand. And this is where we're seeing today a lot of brand mismanagement, because a lot of larger companies are thinking it's very low risk to make these shifts and make these decisions that they may think is very minute, but it's very big to the customer who knows he or she still has a voice. Be mindful of that as a consumer and as a business leader, because it's very embarrassing to then issue apology letters, especially when you're die hard set on where you were trying to go or take your company. I hope this is helpful to you, and I hope you have a very blessed day, and thank you for your time.